Alright, Shalom. So we back again with another class, /The Understanding. And in this week's class, /The Understanding, pretty much we want to be mindful that we're not here to put a weak nature on each other, a weak nature on brothers. You know? Let alone you don't want to put that on yourself. And this is very serious because this can affect one's walk. So yeah, we want to be mindful of that so we pretty much don't help one not make it. Alright, let alone ourselves. But before we get into this call of Allah,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Kakadash.
I want to hopefully like elder apostles and elder bishops at the Great Millstone Church. Shalom to all Akim out here in the same doctrine. Do what they need to do in order according to the scriptures to the best of their ability across the four corners of the globe, nonetheless and regardless, and to the rest of the believers and on this faith as well. Alright. Shalom. So jumping into this, yeah, that's something we want to be completely mindful of. Let's get that in Sirach in the 14th chapter, and we can start at the 10th verse, because this is something you realize through the walk, right? You know, as you gain more experience in the truth, you start to see like there's certain traits and tendencies that and hobbies and whatnot that one can't afford to do or have to do, because it affects, you know, you as a believer, you as, you know, it affects your growth. Also, it's like certain of these things can be like a growth stunner. You know, that has to be a big thing I always talk about. But you got Sirach 14 and actually Saki, the second Ezra 14. That's the spirit, because I got something right here. A second, Sirach. But anyway, Sirach 14, Saki, second Ezra 14 and verse 13.
Yeah, second Ezra chapter 14, verse 13. Now therefore, set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
Good.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of men. Put off now the weak nature.
Right. So to address verse, what we started at 13, we here to get ourselves built up, get ourselves organized in the spirit, mentally, to be able to get back on track, you know, as a true person on this earth, you know, as a believer, as a true Hebrew Israelite. Then, once you've done that through means of rebuking yourself, examining yourself to rebuke yourself, see if you need to rebuke yourself, making sure you're edified, you're being edified, you're exhorted, all right? You're comforted, you're basically stable. To the point you get a sound mind, because that's exactly what one is to have developed. That's why the Lord says He has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind, of power, love, and a sound mind. All right, so He gave us power to basically stand on our two, to have a backbone, to stand up for something. All right, and be able to say firmly, basically to stand firmly, and be able to stand on things firmly and say things firmly, like it tells you, what's that, Micah the 3rd chapter. We can just get that real quick. Matter of fact, I just quoted. He says, "Surely I am full of power, you know, by the Spirit, to declare unto Jacob his transgression and unto Israel his sin," right? Their sin. So pretty much that's a firm spirit that's what power goes into, right? That word power, what's that in the Hebrew? I know in the Greek is the dunamis, I believe it's pronounced. Matter of fact, let's just read that real quick, because it goes into, or is it kaya, kaha, or haya? Kaka. Yeah, that's kaka. Ka. Alright. So yeah, when you get that word right there, you can read what you got.
Yeah, kind. So when you go into it, there's the outline of biblical use. It says strength, power, and might. And then I'm going down to the Strong's. Yeah. In the Strong's it says to be firm.
There it is. See? So that's that power. That's exactly what the Lord has given us. So when you go to Second Timothy, or First Timothy, the first chapter, the 7th verse, it tell you that he said the Lord he gave us, pretty much we are to have a spirit of, not a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Go ahead, you got it.
2 Timothy chapter 1 and 7, it says, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love.
Which is what you use to get your house in order. You use what he's giving you, right? He's giving you something, which is the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, to what? Go ahead.
Yeah, but of power.
Read it from top.
Yeah, kind. For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
See? So the things he has given unto us is to ultimately get us to that point, to where we're that's how we own it. That's what we've become. You know? Not just a person out here that's just, like I said, actual person, an actual justified person on this earth, a person on this earth. All right? And it's pretty much to give us, like I said, pretty much not a spirit of fear, but of power and but of love and a sound mind. So the commandments, sound doctrine, to where no one can gainsay you. There's no seeps in the knowledge you hold and use to obtain and be defended from things, and not be spiritually or penetrated by anything out here, any other doctrine, any other spirit or crap like that. All right. And also, once again, of power, which goes into firmness. So for you to basically stand solid on something, on what you believe and affirm, and will say to other people, which it takes power to do, which is why that word power, which is kaka in the Hebrew, in that Micah 3 and 8, is right there, because it's in the context of one telling another person about what's wrong, what's right. But that starts with you knowing and understanding and believing, right, what's wrong and what's right. So where it takes you right back to 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, which says what?
2nd Ezra chapter 14
and 13.
And 13, it says, now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people.
See, there you go. So that's what it comes down to when you getting yourself right. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to get ourselves right, through what the things the Lord has given us. So let's get one more. If we can go to 1 Peter, I want to say that is in the 1st chapter. Or you know what? I think that's Timothy, actually. Timothy in the 1st chapter, where it talks about, let's see real quick, 2 Timothy. I think I want to say it's Peter. Yeah, it is Peter. Peter, actually 2 Peter 1. 2 Peter 1, and let's start at 2.
Second Peter chapter 1 and verse 2, it says, grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of Yahweh.
See? So this is how you gain things, through the things the Lord has given unto us. In particular, through the what?
Through the knowledge.
Yeah, you get grace and peace. You'll multiply. You know, it'll be multiplied unto you through the knowledge. Go ahead.
Through the knowledge of Yahweh.
The knowledge of Yahweh. Go ahead.
And of Yahweh Shai, our Lord.
Right. Go ahead.
According as
nothing else. Because you use their knowledge, because this is the creator, right, of heaven and earth. This is the creator of you, so he knows what's best for you. He knows what makes you a new person. He knows how you're going to obtain. All right, it's that simple. So he knows how you're going to stand 10 toes down. He knows what's going to keep you strong. All right, and ultimately what? Not weak. But go ahead.
2 Peter 1 and 3, according as his divine power.
See, go ahead.
According as his
Which I believe that word right there is the numbers.
Yeah, kind of.
Which goes into authority, right? Rule and whatnot.
Yep.
I'm going to actually jump there. You can read on.
Yeah. 2 Peter 1 and 3, according as his divine power hath given us, hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life.
See, has given unto us. That's what the Lord has given us. All things that what?
That pertain unto life and godliness.
Yep.
Through the knowledge of him that hath called us.
See, once again, all things, so you're able to get all things that pertain to life. You know? That's what we're here to do. All things that pertain to life through what? Or you just read from that point. All things that pertain to life.
Yeah, it says all things that pertain unto life and godliness.
And godliness, go ahead.
Through
what?
The knowledge.
The knowledge, once again. Go ahead.
Of him.
Yep.
That hath called us to glory and virtue.
So the Lord has given unto us all things that pertain unto life, which is going to be through his knowledge. So ultimately, that's what he gave us, so we can get that. So that's how we can what? Get ourselves in order. Once again, become a person on this earth, get some substance, get somewhere, get on top, you know, see this thing through, all right? Not be all bugged out and shaky, be able to have something to pass on to the next and leave behind, you know, if you will. But we gonna live, we ain't gonna die, all right? We about to see this thing all the way unto the end. The Lord said, "It be some of you standing here that shall not taste the death until you see the Son of Man come into his glory," man. You know? The only thing that's going to die, you know, once you make it all the way to the end, is this body when you shed it to put it off and put on the new one. You know what I'm saying? That's it. No death, though. You know? I tell you that in Romans the 8th chapter. And there's no condemnation to them that walk in the Spirit, you know, and whatnot. I'm going to actually just grab that real quick since I say that, because I don't want to leave that unsaid correctly. This is headed deliverance from bondage. Romans 8 and 1. There is therefore no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh but after the Spirit. This is the point, for the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua has made me free from the law of sin and death. So there it is. So we ain't gonna die. We're gonna live. We ain't gonna die when you shed this body, as it goes on to say. All right. I mean, in the header, deliverance from bondage, meaning his body. But anyway, so that's just to say that. So let's go ahead and jump back now. So we've been given these things. We've been given the knowledge to what? To set ourselves in order with. All right. To know what's right, to not be hurt, to not stumble, you know, to not be plagued, to grow, to do all these different things, to obtain. That's what we've been given. So we got to get ourselves, obtain these things, take heed to what we've been given, and get it all in order, organize it. Get yourself together, man. All right. Dust yourself off. You've been in the valley. You've been in the valley of dry bones. Wake up. You woke up. Stand up and dust yourself off now. You know. Lord got you right. So don't go back to sleep again. But anyway, that dead state, you got it, which is going to be through what? That weak nature. All right? Going back to the point, so you got it, brother.
Back to the second Ezra.
Yep.
Yeah, second Ezra chapter 14 and 13. Now, therefore, set thine house in order.
Mm-hmm. Because this plane about to go out, as we know, but go ahead.
And reprove thy people.
Yep.
Comfort such of them.
So once you got it right, you're able to help somebody else get right. You know? Once you done seen the error, you know? Once the Lord done show you the error in the Hebrew Israelites' way, which you would be, ultimately the error in your way, you able to take heed to that and show another Hebrew Israelite. You know? That's the point. Go ahead. We nation building, if you will. Ultimately for the elect, because the elect the nation. So let's keep that clear. But go ahead.
Yeah, it kind of says, comfort such of them as be in trouble.
Yep.
And now renounce corruption.
Yep. And now we're comforted. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We don't, you know, you free from all this, the vanity slave crap, all that. All right? And it says what?
Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Yep. And you're going to ultimately, in order to do that for yourself and for somebody else, you got to completely let go from yourself mortal thoughts. You got to come out of the basic realm of thinking. Because if you don't do that, you're going to stay exactly who you are. You're going to stay a simp, regular nigga, a nigga. That's what you're going to stay. All right? To where you'll never obtain. To where you're dealing with the same crap in the same way. To where you losing, you getting hit with the same punch. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says, cast away the burdens of man.
Right, exactly. Because those things ain't nothing but ways to keep you in the rat race. Ways to keep you in that dead state. You know, the burdens of man. You know? You just need to maintain. You just need to have a defense. You're not in the rat race to death. You're not walking the wide gate where many there be that go in there at and are destroyed. All right? That's what you got to understand. If you read that part one more time.
Yeah, kind. It says, I'm going to just start at the top, 2 Ezra 14 and 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of men.
Yeah, the burdens of man. Once again, that's just to keep you in, basically like in a mortal mindset, man. You know? In a way to where you're affected and constantly tripping over stuff. You know? Like basically you being careful for the things that's in this world. When the scriptures tell you not to be careful for anything. You know, I'm gonna grab it real quick. This is Philippians 4, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says, think of excellence, is what this headed as. Therefore, my brethren, dearly beloved and longed for. All right? And I'm going to read this also in the NLT, because it's to the sincere sisters as well. This is in the NLT. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, because usually where it says brethren, that if you read it in the KJV, if you read it in the NLT, it's going to say sisters too. But anyway, therefore my brother, because my brethren just mean the kinsmen. But anyway, but it's chiefly to the men first, and you by default you get the Israelite men, and by default you get the Israelite women, you know. But anyway, it says, therefore my dear brothers and sisters, stay true to the Lord. I love you, and I long to see you, dear friends. For you are my crown, and for you are my joy. and the crown I receive for my work. Exactly. You know, seeing our people come out of the damn, how can I say this? Not fall for the okie doke anymore. Come out of the spell, the trap. You know, that's the when you through this. That's your crown, that's your reward. That's a reward right there. You know? Them fruits. Alright? That's what that is. Those receipts. Alright? To say you know. Even though we ain't saved by our works, but you know. Let's prove the Lord's word don't go out void. Let's put it like that. Alright? So anyway, this is Philippians. Let me go back now. Philippians 4:1. So therefore, back in KJV, my brethren, dearly beloved and long for my joy and crown. So stand fast in the Lord, my dearly beloved. I beseech Eodius and beseech Syntyche that they be of the same mind in the Lord. And I entreat thee also, true yoke fellow. Right, we in it, we getting it out the mud together. You know what I'm saying? We about to get out of this. You know, fellow servants of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Help those women which labor with me in the gospel, with Clement also, and with other my fellow laborers, whose name are in the book of life. So pretty much, we have a mission. It's the objective we're trying to achieve, which is obtain, you know, what the election are to obtain and are written to have obtained already. Make sure we have that, you know. Mission seal the elect. Mission come out of the world. Objective, all the objective come out of the world, man. Objective overcome by the blood of the Lamb. Overcome him, the so-called white man. You know, the what? His burdens of men. You know, that's what we're here to do. And we're doing it by giving attendance, occupying, giving attendance to reading. I believe that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's 1 Timothy in the fourth chapter. All right, that's what we're here to do. 1 Timothy 4 and start at 6. Yeah. This is titled "A Good Minister's Discipline," right? Because these are the things we want to focus on. The class is, however, about how we don't want to we're not here to put the weak nature, you know what I'm saying, on a believer, on a brother. You know what I'm saying? And you got to make sure you don't do that, because you can stop them from growing, hence from the objective ultimately. So by default, we're going into it because we're showing the things we are supposed to be putting in our brothers, sisters, believers. You see that? It says, and one of those things is what? Discipline. Things that's going to help them up. This particular mindset, the reminder of the objective, the things that's going to help one, to help them want to come out of this world. The base thinking, the mortal. That's what we're here to do. You're not here to make no one weak, man. We was just dealing with weak and beggarly elements. We're not here to deal with that anymore. Go ahead, brother.
Yep. 1 Timothy 4 and 6, it says, if thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
See that? Man, go ahead.
Nourished up in the words of faith.
See, nourished, slaki. Go ahead. Yep. Nourished what?
Nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine.
Wow. Go ahead.
Whereunto thou hast attained.
Right. That's what the Lord has given us. He's given us good doctrine. Things that all things that pertain unto life. You know? how to beat, Esau, man. How to overcome. How to beat the flesh. How to get that, enter all the way into that new covenant, man. All right? Literally. Through what? This. To where you will obtain. By obtaining, ultimately. All right? Go ahead.
Con.
Yeah.
1 Timothy 4:7, it says, but refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness.
Yeah, see? All that gossip crap, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, if you can read that same verse in the NLT, that's the things that's going to not help you do that. That's what that, let's read that in the NLT.
Yeah. 1 Timothy 4:7, it says, do not waste time arguing over godless ideas and old wives' tales.
Godless ideas. Just gossiping. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what gossip is godless ideas. It's ones giving their ideas, conversating, yip-yapping about nothing, weak-ass shit that's not going to help us in no regard. We want to be talking about the spirit. We ain't got time to be talking about stuff that's not going to add unto us, but it's even more of a detriment when you talking about stuff that'll take away from you and it sets you back and put you back in your old man. Oh, if you can get that scripture, matter of fact, he says, put off now the old conversation. You see that? I got it. And if we can read that from the top again. This is Ephesians 4:22. It says what? I'm gonna start at 21. It says, yeah. I'm gonna actually start at 17. This is headed as living as children of light. This I say therefore and testify in the Lord that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua through the ignorance that is in them. See that? So once you in certain mindsets, pretty much that old mindset had us blind and to the life of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the true life. That's why we was constantly in the burdens of men, the rat race, that same circle, that same crappy circle. All that crap, goddamn, blunts, video game, some chips or some shit, and then you gotta go to a crappy so-called job, or you damn selling drugs, whatever the hell you was doing, man. You trying to try out for this team. You done tried out for 50 teams. You got this idea, all this godless ideas. It said, and that was, and you're trying to come to life, ironically. But how can you come to life in a way that the Creator didn't ordain life to even be, or be able to be gotten through? You know what I'm saying? It's all lies. He was going to stay dead. So that's why it says having an understanding darkened, because being alienated from the life of God. He the only one that he killed and make alive. So you got to get life for how he get life. We living in ways that just don't even give you life. They're not pro-life. They actually kill you. That's why there's so much death. Like they tell you in the Book of Eli movie. He was like, you remember yesterday, a girl asked me, she's like, you remember how the old world used to be? He's like, yeah, people had more than they needed. Everybody died, But anyway, but they had all this stuff, And imagine all the ways they will go about to get those things, all the stuff they so-called had. But anyway, it says, through the ignorance that is in them because of their blindness of their heart, who being past feeling, having given themselves over to lasciviousness, that deals with excess. See that? That's the spirit. It says, I'm gonna read this in the NLT. They have no sense of shame. They live for lustful pleasure and eagerly practice every kind of impurity. You know, nigga trying to hurry up and hit the club. Nigga trying to just stupid stuff. You know, it says, who being past feeling, having given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness, trying to call a bride, a wholesome crap. Man, you should do the holes in. And, that ain't pertaining to all, that ain't the things that pertain to all life. Paul say, if he would have you not even married. But if you burn, you sin not if you marry. So that ain't the lifestyle you're supposed to be living. That's not obtaining. We'll never get no rulership or get anywhere, and overcome and get anything for ourselves by constantly exhausting ourselves, depleting ourselves, wasting our time, using our time with things like that, putting in place of our time, things like that, But anyway, but ye have not so learned Hamashiach. Hamashiach is a complete example of that. He wasn't tending none of that crap. He wasn't sitting around having wives take fables and, godless ideas. Every time he said something, it counted. And when he didn't have nothing to say that count, he wasn't saying nothing. He was letting us talk. But it says, if so be that ye have heard, and he was always about building. But he wasn't even looking to build with people that wasn't able. He ain't wasting no time on them. It says, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Hamashiach, Salaki Yahushua. It says, I'm gonna read this in the NLT too. It says, since you have heard about Yahushua and have learned the truth that comes from him, right? You done read about Yahushua and his life. You know what I'm saying? Like the quotes about Yahushua, brothers that always mention Yahushua or whatever, you learn, we all know. Like, yeah, he that, that's that lesson I did through the spirit, and him was the life. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it says, verse 22, that ye put off, this the point, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And I'm going to read it in the NLT, verse 22. Throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. So pretty much, you shouldn't be talking about things you used to talk about, and at least not in the same way. You know what I'm saying? Because Paul, he did that. He talked about how he was a Pharisee and all of that to bring edification to himself and to bring clarity to what he was actually doing. That's examining yourself in the spirit, because you basically doing that, you seeing where you at now. That's proving where you at now, and where you want to head and don't want to head back to by you doing that. So there's many ways to examine yourself, but you got it out.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep.
1 Timothy chapter 4 and 8 in the NLT. Yeah, verse 7. So like in the NLT, it says, do not waste time arguing over godless ideas and old wives' tales instead.
Yeah,
so
we're not sitting in the barbershop arguing about how many points LeBron scored. It's like when you hear certain things that become certain art that be about to become. I be hearing certain things. I just don't even talk about it because it is a waste of fucking time. It shit don't even matter. That's what you used to do. What the hell I care about what LeBron scored or gonna score? Steph Curry or whoever the hell. You arguing, dudes getting killed murdered over games. So of course they not obtaining. The rest were blinded, man. We ain't none of that no more, man. Go ahead.
God, it says, instead, train yourself.
Go ahead.
Instead, train yourself to be godly.
Man, see? So you here to develop, you here to put yourself through boot camp, to fast and all. The truth is a fast. You know what I'm saying? Being in the truth is a fast from the worldly world that you're subjected amongst. How? Because instead of before, when you would abuse the world, you now just use it. So you abstain, if that's the word I want to use, from it. You know, more often. You probably damn near never go into the matrix. You know what I'm saying? If you can afford that, you know, and not do that, you know, you use the world. You go to the gig, that's it. You know, get your daily bread, you know, your defense, however you may do it, and, you know, that's lawful. And that's that, man. You know, take care of your household, your household, your family, whatever. You're just you. You know, maybe living with your parents or something like that. Your younger brothers and sisters. You know, you do that. You know, you do what you need to do for your individual gain and growth as you are about to continue to further embark on this path to, you know, of being a person again, you know, a Hebrew Israelite, a true person. Black people don't exist. Think about that, man. The people that exist according to the Lord are in the scriptures. No matter, and they're on the earth right now, no matter if they call themselves these people or not. If not, and if they're, and this is how you know if those people are obtaining or not. Like Esau, you read about Esau. That's a man walking around right now. That's a so-called white man. Is he obtaining when you look at the so-called white man? Yeah, if he fulfilling what the Lord say he's supposed to be doing according to scriptures. But when you look at you as a so-called black person or a so-called Latino, Native American, Indian person, you don't even see yourself in there. You the Hebrew Israelite. Now you able to see if you're attaining. Actually, when you look at that, because he like the Israelites supposed to be doing this. Now he talk about your failures, but it's to point out how you're not obtaining. You know, so you can see if you're failing as who you actually are, or if you're obtaining. Black people don't exist, so it makes sense why they dying, and the Lord don't even acknowledge them. You will never come to life. Of course, you're never gonna own anything. You're never gonna own. You're never gonna run anything. The Hebrew Israelites were written to run everything when it's all said and done. Because a certain batch out of those the Lord would allow to wake up and get this would obtain to what they're supposed to, which is counsel such as this, to where they would go on and do that, man. But anyway, go ahead, because you know, this not even to be long-winded, man. This simple. You got it.
1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8, it reads, "For bodily exercise profited little."
So those things you could be doing too, training your mind, training your spirit, you know. Because all this stuff is about to be burnt up. So you want to be training yourself to become a real person again. Putting off fast food, you actually cooking, you know, at least you being about it. You know what I'm saying? You're working out, as that go on to say. You know, you're not listening to these niggas in any regard. You know, if you can help it. And if you do, not in the same way. I'm not watching the goddamn Super Bowl no more. You know? That shit finna be burnt the fuck up. Fuck I'm watching that for? You ain't see the Dark Knight movie when he was on the field running and it dissipated behind him? That's what's about to happen. So why that's things I used to be in. I'm not watching that shit, you know? I'm just saying it blunt. I'm not even finna push to you. You ain't, you know, you can watch it if you want to, but you know, I'm not watching it. That's what I'm telling you. All right? So, is it a sin? Well, you assess that according to this lesson. I wouldn't say it's a sin, but depending on who you are and the objective, would it be going against your purpose, you know what I'm saying? Your growth. Would it be going against that? Which that you can read that Sirach the 39th chapter. Scripture tell you to prove thine own soul and see what is evil unto it and give that not. See that? If you can get that real quick.
Yeah, kind of.
Was it 30, this is Sirach 37 and 27. My son, Prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. Exactly. So if you see it go against the objective and what you're trying to obtain and who you are and how much time you have left, and what you're trying to get done in a certain amount of time, based on the time the Lord got you, having and being able to do certain things in your life, if that goes against it, you need to not get into it. It says, for all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. So some men can do other things other men can't actually help. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm not doing that shit, because I know what I'm trying to do and accomplish. So you got to be real with yourself like that. I don't need it. I don't need it. So should no man be pushing to you like to be on some, that's stupid. All right? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
1 Timothy 4:8. It says, for bodily exercise profited little.
That's going to help you. That can never hurt you. Depending on your situation again. Like it's times based off, what I got to deal with, I got to let my body rest. Because there's a lot of stress come over my body. But the point is, I work out. Working out is profitable. Because it helps the spirit, it helps your mind stay clear, you get out toxins to where you're not sick, as much. Your immune system is built to where you're not, which is why you're not as sick as much, and etc. A bunch of things. You actually are in shape, you have stamina, you can breathe, you never know like what you might have to do in this truth. All right, but go ahead.
It reads, but godliness is profitable unto all things.
So you're supposed to be training like, yeah, I'm, like you own $1 trillion business, and you got the phone with your daily planner with your day planned out ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? And you got, your what's it called, giving you what you got to do and all of that. That's the spirit. You ain't no goddamn Siri. How about Shmiao Shah? You got the scriptures. You got what he's showed you and things that you can obtain to that's going to actually help you. Getting yourself positioned to where you can continue in this walk. So whatever is going to take care of things for yourself, whatever it may be, ultimately for the Lord. Everything you do, you live unto the Lord. That's how you're supposed to think. And if you die unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to think. You want to be training yourself to become a person that's about that, because that's true life. You're dying unto life. You're living unto life. Yahweh Shmiao Shah is life. He said, I lifted up my hand and said, I live forever. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no death for us. We only about life being about Yahweh Shmiao Shah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Connie says, having promise of the life that now is.
See? The life, go ahead.
It says that now is,
yep.
and of that which is to come.
See, none but life. Life. Even when you die, you go back to life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of.
That's something. So you're hearing, okay, you might have to be a martyr. Hey, Yahweh Shah said, what's that? Is that St. John, the 10th chapter? I think that is St. John 10. He said, I think that's St. John. No man. Okay, we're going to hold Galatians 4 now. We can hold that. Grab that. This is St. John 10:17. Therefore do my Father love me, because I laid down my life that I might take it again. See, that I might take it again. And it says, no man taketh it from. See, there it is. This is man, we read that again. Therefore do the Father love me, because I laid down my life that I might take it again. See that? That's the point, man. So everything we doing is to obtain life, even if we lose our life. We all about life. The promises, the new covenant. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. So we on a mission. It's an agenda. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. Yahushua was a martyr. All right? So that's the point. But look, he lived forever now. See? But go ahead.
Galatians.
Nah, where you was left off at.
Yeah, kind of. I want to read it in NLT really quick as well.
Mm-hmm.
1 Timothy 4:8 reads, physical training is good, but training for godliness is much better.
Yeah, train, man.
Yeah. And it says promising benefits in this life and in the life to come.
God, man. That's literally what you trying to put off that weak nature, man. All right? Training to become strong. You know? Training to be, you basically training yourself for when you like ruling in a God. How you gonna do that if you like on peon mode? So you ain't gonna obtain like what's to come. You want to be able to transition right into that lot. I was already thinking like a king, a prince, a princess, whatever, a god. I was already thinking like I was looking to live forever. So you would be able to transition into immortality easier. You know what I'm saying? Because that time is here. It's about to come to pass. You got it?
1 Timothy 4:9, back in the KJV, it says, this is a faithful saying.
If you know you about to come up, like the Lord telling you the root of wickedness is about to be sealed up from you. So why would you still be in the wickedness? If he tell you all these things, all these works herein is about to be burned up, why would you still be into these things for real? You know, only thing that's going to be left is the new heavens and the new earth, and you, the elect, the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'al Shem Yahushua, and those that do forth his will. You know, that's the only thing that's going to be left. And all these people that's left to be put in subjection to it by those that's left of the Israelites, and of which are whom that will be the pusher force of it, if you will, for lack of better words of saying that. Did you have some? Okay, let me read this. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. See that? Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, Yahweh Ba'al Shem Yahushua, wherein the heavens being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. See that? What manner of persons are you to be, knowing that this is all the case? One that's acting like all this is, this is going out of style. This is out of there. It's going out of style. Going back to the points, all right. 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter. Talk about how the 10 parts of the earth are already gone already. So you looking to transition, as it's going to go on to say. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens. See, that's the promise of the life that now is and of the one that's to come. See that? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, that's what we are to be doing. Your actions should show you looking for those things. All right? There's nothing wrong with not being over righteous. Let's put it like that. But you don't want to be over wicked. You don't want to be wicked over much and destroy yourself. Mom's telling, you got liberty to do this and liberty to do that. Like, that shit gonna get you destroyed. Some brothers, because he ain't applying, seeing what's evil for him. Right? He just subjecting himself to that. And your ass he gonna be destroyed. And you gonna be destroyed because you really didn't apply 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, the 13th and 14th verse. You know what you actually did? You put the weak nature on him, which was on you. And you ultimately did what? You put a stumbling block in front of that man. You basically offended one of the little ones. And we're going to get that word offend too. But anyway, it says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, right? When you're supposed to be doing this, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Man, wherefore, it's like an account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation. Even as our beloved brother Paul, as also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you. You know? That's what you got to understand. But read on also. It says, as also in his epistles, in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable. See, and unstable rest. See, not firm. As they also do the other scriptures unto their own destruction. See that? And that's pretty much when Paul say things like liberty. Use not your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness. And men take that and be like, we got liberty, we got liberty. That liberty can turn into you being over wicked and ultimately destroying yourself, as it tell you in Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, by the wisest man that ever lived, who was Solomon, who was actually Yahushua. He would know. Solomon had a lot. Look, that's liberty. Solomon's life was a life of liberty. Just because he could, he had the money, and it was the time of peace. Look what he did. He destroyed himself. Now the kingdom split. He had to die, and now he 2,000 years removed from us, sitting in heavens waiting to come back. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't putting that on your house, our Lord. He came, but that's what, you know. But anyway, it says, ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware, lest ye also being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness. But grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord, Savior Yahushua HaMashiach. To him be glory both now and forever. Amen. So there's a time after the now. It's called forever. So this now is about to pass away. This is not it. So you need to be training yourself for the forever. You need to be training yourself as if the now is about to pass, man. Or you're going to fall steadfastly. You're going to fall from your own steadfastness by being simple. Like a lot of brothers that be out here be being simple. You know? We all got our instances of it. I have my instances of it. Still have my instances of it. But we got to make sure we're not pushing the brothers or believers of weak nature. That's the point. Because we see what the objective is now. We're supposed to be understanding what the manner of persons we are to be. See? And that's not the one putting on the weak nature, nor not, and nor putting it on another. All right? Lose that firmness. You got to.
Yeah. 1 Timothy 4:9. This is a faithful saying and worthy of all exception. It says, for therefore we both labor and suffer reproach because we trust in the living God.
Yeah, what verse you in?
Verse 10.
You in what again? 1 Timothy?
Yeah, chapter 4.
10.
Yeah.
The point was through 13. Okay, just keep going. You got it.
Yeah,
speed up.
Yeah, 1 Timothy 4:10, it says, for therefore we both labor and suffer reproach because we trust in the living God, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe.
Yeah, it get hard. So yeah, you get to do, you know, there your liberty, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to be over wicked to where you destroy yourself, man. Remember, we here to train. That's it. You don't have a continuing city here, so you gotta stay mindful. It ain't that much you can give yourself, man. You can't have that many aspects of balancing out and all this other shit. You know, if you're going to do one thing, that should be it, really it. That's what I suggest. You ain't got that, like, bro, you've been asleep all your life. So how the hell, you ain't got time to be, what the hell? You going to drink. You can't be drinking, playing movies, eating chips, calling bitches, all this other stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Never reading, never around brothers, never listen to lessons. You never in class. Like, what's wrong with you? And then You think because you still around the truth, and I guess in it, right? You can tell another brother they can do that. You know, when you ain't even seeing, you're not even really paying attention to how much ground you could be covering that you're not, because you give it to those other things in place and in time of that. You know, when you could be covering ground in the spirit. But once again, he that sows sparingly shall reap sparingly, man. You know, and he that sows abundantly shall reap, or soweth plentifully shall reap abundantly, roughly paraphrasing. So to each his own. You got it.
Yeah, 1 Timothy 4:11 it says, these things command and teach.
Yep. But this is the truth, though. You got it?
Let no man despise thy youth.
Yep, exactly. So this is men that got experience in that, you know, because you got to think, first of all, we all ancient spirits. You know? So you just can't box a mug. So that's like they say, man, mug got an old soul. Yeah, you got old souls. All old souls ain't went through experience, though, in their current lives. And some have. So that's stupid. Timothy, a reincarnated spirit. So who is somebody that despises youth? And he clearly got, and on top of that, he got experience. Within his time of, you know, he been dealing with Paul. Are you serious? Paul's a learned man. He was a Pharisee and all that. You know? Paul, he done touched people. You know? Timothy done seen a lot. All right? Timothy was around during the time of Acts. You know? You got it?
Yeah, kind of. It says, let no man despise thy youth,
Mm-hmm.
but be thou an example of the believers.
See? That's showing you're supposed to be an example. We're not here to put the weak and beggarly elements before brothers.
Bring it up.
Go ahead.
Galatians chapter 4:9, it says, but now, after that ye have known the Heavenly Father, or rather are known of God, how turn ye again to
Start at 8.
Yeah, kind of.
And this is headed as Paul's concern for the Galatians. These were believers that were in the truth, that was just in a different place called Galatia. They was in Greece, right? And their church was known as the Galatians. But these are simply nothing more than, if you will, today would be nothing more than a group of believers, of brothers and sisters, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of. Galatians 4:8.
And they had camp leaders and all that, if you will. Go ahead.
It says, howbeit then, when ye knew not the Heavenly Father,
Right, when he was in the world, go ahead.
ye did service unto them, which by nature are no gods.
So pretty much, when we read this in the NLT, it says, before you Gentiles knew God, right? That's showing you the Israelites were just in a Gentile state. It says you were slaves to so-called gods that do not even exist. You all caught up in crap that don't even matter. That's not even real. That has no substance. That's vain. See that? You can jump back. You can continue.
Yeah, verse 9 says, but now, we'll jump back.
It's up to you. He back in the KJV in verse 9.
Yeah, kind of.
You got it.
It says, but now after that, ye have known God, or rather are known of God.
You then came into the truth, right? Go ahead.
How turn ye again to
And the
the
Lord
weak?
done found out, or the Lord done found out. Because you could be in the truth and not be taking it serious, but the Lord know you know. That's what that's saying. Go ahead.
It says, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements,
Yep.
whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage?
Exactly. It's that simple, man. It says in the NLT, so now that you know God, or should I say, now that God knows you, because look, Paul, I can't even give you that credit because y'all bullshit.
Right.
You ain't really in the truth. See? That's how you know we the people. It says, why do you want to go back again and become slaves once more to weak and useless spiritual principles of this world? This the same shit we sitting here talking about.
Right.
You got it.
1 Timothy 4:12, it says, let no man despise thy youth,
Yep.
but be thou an example
Mm-hmm.
of the believers
Yep.
in word,
Yep.
in conversation,
Mm.
in charity,
See?
in spirit,
See?
in faith,
Man.
in purity.
See, you got to train to get on that level. You know? We about to get the help, bro. We about to rule the earth. We about to be flying and stuff. Like, are you losing your goddamn mind? You want to keep wearing jerseys and damn, fitted hats and damn, man, come on, man. You need to be acting like you about to make a transition. The hell out of here. You ain't got to be over righteous. That's what you got. Okay, wear what you wear. Ain't talking about brothers and their outfits and stuff like that. That's just meant to, try to make a point, all right? Which those type of things can be used, but it doesn't have to put nobody out and stuff like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, kind. 1 Timothy 4:13, it says, till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine.
Go ahead.
Neglect not the gift that is in thee.
Just read the whole thing through 16.
Yep. It says, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on the hands of the presbytery.
Yep.
Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profit may appear unto all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them.
Yep.
For in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee.
Exactly. So we're here to help save each other. So you got to be mindful. You don't lay if we can get that, offend one of these little ones. But yeah, this is going back to Philippians 4 and 1. It's like Philippians 4 and 1. Therefore, my brethren, dearly beloved and longed for, my joy and crown. So stand fast in the Lord, my dearly beloved. I beseech Euodias, and Syntyche, that they be of the same mind in the Lord. And I treat thee also, true yoke fellow, help those women which labored with me in the gospel, with Clement also, and with other my fellow laborers whose name are in the book of life. That's showing you ain't got nothing to be playing with. Like Paul, like saying people to people. He like the people that's in that Syria. These the people. We the people. We gotta go before the throne of grace boldly, man. The Lord done did you a favor, so you have a high chance of being the elect, man. You probably the elect. You gotta act like it and pray for it, man. You know what I'm saying? Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. That'll be why. It says, let your moderation be. No, that was it. Yeah, Con. Yeah, that's basically it, man. And I hit everything. Now you got it.
Yeah, first it's like Matthew. If I look at the mark.
Oh, Con. That's what I was supposed to get. Slaki. It's the 6th verse. So it says, let your moderation be known unto men. The Lord is at hand. That's the point. Be careful for nothing. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. So we got well past how we got there. But it all done came out in the spirit. The point is, you don't want to be, that goes back to Sirach. Because it says to put off the burdens of man. You're not supposed to care about all this. You just get your daily bread. You don't let the cares of this life have you perish. This life pushes you to be excess. Like you got to do more than you need to do. Men want to, offer you more hours at a so-called gig. No, I'm gone. Fuck you. I don't even want to be here. Not staying nothing. You run it up. You can. I'm not running nothing up. How about that? This place on his way out. How about that? All right? Yahushua wasn't doing more than he had to do to pay Caesar. He like, man, look. When that fish come up, take that. He said, pay him for you and me. He wasn't doing all that shit, man. As long as you making your means, however you make it, man. Did the Lord go off doing that? No. He ain't hurt nobody, he ain't steal from nobody. And he was doing the real work. All right? Yahushua, he was a carpenter and all that, but his work really consisted of, that was his family business. His work consisted of the teaching, man. He kept himself in position to do that. The Lord made sure he ate, he slept, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord, he had connections. Right. But that's because he procured unto himself favor, because how he was moving. All right? The Lord, he had a nice home put up for him for the Passover, so where he could just be out the way and all that, man. You know, somebody else's. The Lord was trained, man. He was a trained assassin. That's how you know. And he trained himself to ultimately be able to come back and put his foot of the so-called white man, out his fucking forehead, man, like Mortal Kombat. That's what he trained himself for. The last thing he told Pilate, he said, man, look, you don't have no power, you know what I'm saying, unless it was given unto you, man. And he let himself be tortured. He stopped talking after that, you know? He stopped talking after a while. Ain't nothing else to talk about. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, this is the book of Mark, chapter 9 and 42. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone will hang about his neck.
And that's what you do when you put a weak nature on brothers. You know, you being simple, man. Because you inexperienced in life and you've been in the truth the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. You would hear men talking about they got liberty, and all this. And bro, we ain't got that much liberty, man. Yeah, we got liberty, but what you gonna use it for? You know? That's really to men that's been in the truth most of their life. If you came out the world in 07, bro, you ain't lived through nothing. You know? Now, if you was the one that was using your liberty all the way up until the time of now, which was 2022, right? You probably got to some things in the truth. And you were living in this world. You was living amongst this world, you know, life, if you will. You were living life, if you will, from the perspective of the truth. But you really wasn't getting into anything, depending on how old you were. You know what I'm saying? You ain't lived nothing. Unless you, once again, you was using your liberty in this truth to get into, you know, bullshit. And you learned a lot of stuff. But a lot of men, they've been out the way since 07, whenever they came out of the way. So depending on how old you was, you came into the truth. And also regarding on what you did before you came into the truth, that's how much experience you got. Then you got your experience in the truth, which is when you're dealing with demons and you know you are. And you seeing the life we so-called live from a true perspective. But I say all that to say, if you could read what you read again, because I said that off what you read.
Yeah, Mark chapter 9 and 42.
Oh, the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that had come up, the stumbling block. So with you being inexperienced, you're more lenient with yourself. You're less able to just go be completely cold turkey because you ain't really experienced the world for real. The world brought you in cold turkey out the world. You didn't really, you know, even touch nothing. So you would probably be you have brothers that tend to they about the Lord, but their way of coping with the flesh is doing things that men that were probably in the world completely, you know, got over. And yet, but that'll come out to brothers that's inexperienced. You know, like they simple and they believe, and that'll be basically you pushing to them, you putting a stumbling block in their way because you cleave to the weak nature more often. You're one to cleave to the weak nature, like versus somebody because of that reason, because of that fact. You came into the truth young, you didn't experience nothing before the world, so you are the one that took advantage of the liberty. And you'll be more so on the end of those that push that out. Like you got liberty, you can, you know, any man that's really growing in the truth, you know it ain't too much you won't even want to try to touch and deal with. It ain't too much you can try to do. And it'll come out in a way to where brothers don't really mean it how they probably even saying it. But somebody take that wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they stumble at that. Because really what you're pushing, okay, it's okay to be weak sometimes. You know? Deal with the weak, beggarly elements. You know, you want to go see a movie, okay, you can do that. You want to go down, eat out, you can go to the club, you can go to, I remember I used to hear that, you know, this is early back, you know, but that eventually you had the elder apostles don't get on that, like, bro, y'all shouldn't be in no club. Fuck you going to the club for? But these are men that probably came straight, you know what I'm saying? But that's cool, bro. I'm not calling you wicked. The point is, you just want to be mindful. The point is, this is how you have these things. This is how this lesson is able to be said. Because these very instances of brothers sharing those experiences and the fact that they got liberty to do those things out are the very things that could be considered pushing the weak nature on the brother. When we're not here to do that, and what make that dangerous, that's a stumbling block. Because your liberty is not to go back into the world and deal with that shit for real. You know what I'm saying? It's to use the world, but it's not to abuse it. Your liberty is more so to be training yourself up. You don't got time like that. Damn sure not a younger brother. You know? But to each his own, like, we'll see. This is something to be mindful, just throwing it out there. You guys.
Yeah, Kai, Mark 9.
Because I know I heard that shit and it made me weak. I'm the type of brother, I don't even listen to music in the car, man. I don't listen to nothing. But now over the time since I done been in, you know, my little time, you know, I done heard stuff like that. And I got experience in the world, you know? And I'm a young brother, but I ain't the youngest brother. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a man, grown ass man. But that you hear those things and you end up like, okay, yeah, cool. Because we are just sitting here long suffering for the Lord, you know, counted as salvation, but you end up getting, you know, through those type of messages coming out, you know, you end up forgetting what it's about. And then you end up, you know, really becoming weak, man. Now you playing rap music because men talking about, you gonna listen to rap, you wanna listen to rap and all this other shit, you know? But I ain't calling brothers wicked, but hey, we ain't here to do that, man. If you do that, you keep that to yourself. For real. I can get them all destroyed. Alright? We coming out, rap about to be destroyed. It already is destroyed. It's about to be burnt the hell up. I stopped, I was just listening to rap. Fuck, I'm gonna be listening to rap for again. But then you hear that, alright, you know? But you live, you learn. You know, it's all a part of experience. This is something to stay mindful of, man. Like, we not here to put that weak nature on brothers because it can be actually this. Go ahead.
Mark 9:42, and whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he were cast into the sea.
All right, get that verse, that word, offend.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this till he get it. This is Sirach 14, and I'm gonna say 20. It says, blessed is the man that doeth, Slaki, blessed is the man that meditate good things and wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. You know? So that's exactly it, man. You're blessed if you meditate about good things and wisdom. You know, this is what this class is, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. All right, and that's how you get to this point. You know, but that's a whole nother thing because that's a lot to say on that. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's the word for offend in Greek.
Strong's G 4624, skandalizo. Skandalizo.
Yeah, And it says to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way upon which another may trip and fall.
Mm-hmm. That's why Paul said, if meat make my brother to offend, he ain't gonna eat meat, man. All right? Because that's meat when you start talking like that. You know? And a lot of men try to do that like they on that level. You know? Paul said, I couldn't talk to you spiritual, you know, but as carnal. Now, you would think that goes against what's being said, but it ain't. If you can actually get, what's that, Matthew 26, where Yahushua asked the disciples, can he pray with him if the flesh is weak? You know? Like really to talk on the instance of you being able to do certain carnal shit, if you will, that's spiritual talk. Because it's a spiritual man saying this. You know? And then in the flip side, the spiritual talk will be talking to you carnally. You know, like, nah, bro, you can't afford to do that. Just, you know, the flesh will get you drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can receive what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's what Paul was doing, but really in a certain sense he is, man. If you could receive what I'm saying, like, that's really that. That's like, to tell somebody to do something carnal, like being a spiritual man, you know, they're a spiritual person, a believer, that's spiritual. They talking on a spiritual level, you know? They talking for your spirit, you know, that got to coexist with your flesh, you know? But when you come into the truth, it ain't really given to you like that, because that's meat. You just talk too straight carnal, meaning you talk too straight spiritual, which is in regards to your straight carnal, is what I'm trying to say. You know? If that makes sense. Go ahead.
Matthew 26, verse 41, watch and pray.
And if you don't understand what I mean, but you can leave a comment, you know, maybe, you know, if it's that important, which it is, I'll maybe sit down and do a lesson or try to explain on the comment board. But go ahead, Salaki.
Yeah, Matthew 26 and verse 41, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing.
Because, go ahead.
It says the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Right, and that's what I was meditating on. I always get a few scriptures that hit me in the head on the topic, but, you know, and then the rest is through the spirit. So that'll be this one, and that's Iraq. But this one pretty much shows you, because pretty much how Yahushua is pushing not to put on the weak nature, because he said this off what? The disciples sleeping. You know what I'm saying? But they were sleeping when they can't afford to sleep. You like, yo, I'm about to be delivered up. How can you be sleeping right now? You could probably go the hell off. I'm losing it right now, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You need to watch and pray. He's like, could you not watch me for 1 hour? I'm praying over and over. I'm my sweat thick. You sweating blood, man. So he basically telling them to put off the weak nature. That's showing you he's being an example. He's like, yo, that's a weak nature, man. You know? When you sleeping when you don't need to be sleeping, you don't got room to sleep. All right? So the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And that's what you want to be tending to. You got to be pretty much training yourself to where you can beat the flesh, because you're going to be put in situations where the flesh is going to be a goddamn opposition to you. You know what I'm saying? Literally. So you need to be training yourself to where when those moments come, you can just choke the flesh out, you know, and walk away. That's why Yahushua lived the way he lived, the 40-day, 40-night fast, all that, man. And men didn't get that, you know. You sitting here being soft for brothers at moments you don't need to, like pushing a weak-ass nation to brothers. You know, I'm cold. Like, you can't do that, man. We here to be soldiers. Talking about you cold. We out here in the snow. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't hear that shit. You know? Ain't nobody else saying it. What you saying that for? That's gonna throw somebody off. You know? We all cold. Deal with it, man. All right? You so fervent or worry about your flesh. I'm using this to warm up, you know? Brothers know I'm saying that. It ain't a shot, but it just is what it is. That's just something I'm saying through the Spirit. We don't need nobody want to hear that, man. You know, you pushing that to other brothers. Like, bro, we not minding that. We in the Spirit. I'm cold. I don't need, you know. We could talk about that another time. Right now, that's not going to help me get through the cold. Reminding me how cold I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to freeze then. But anyway, that's it, man. The point proven. Let's just go ahead and close out. Let's go to back to Sirach, unless you have more.
Second Ezra's.
Yeah, second Ezra's. Because I had some in Sirach. All right. We close out in this. Go ahead.
Yeah, start 13.
Same point, yeah.
Yeah, Second Ezra 14, verse 13, it says, Now therefore, set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts, and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature.
Put that off. Weak beggarly elements. Go ahead.
It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee,
Yep.
and haste
Mm-hmm.
to flee from these times.
Yeah, you got to be able to move and stay light in the spirit to be able to stay on your feet. Something that's going to weigh you down, hold you back, set you back. You got to, don't deal with that, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
You know, but this is Sirach 14, and I'm going to start at verse 33. Riches are not comely for a nigger, and what shall an envious man do with money? So you got to be, it's certain things that, as other doctrine regarding like liberty and stuff like that, that's not comely for a brother that's still a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he believe, if you will, it's going to get him destroyed. You know? And ultimately this class won't help you if you just still trying to be a nigga, because these are riches. You know? So you got to be mindful of that. There's certain parts of the doctrine, aka riches of the doctrine, you can't give a nigga, man. You know? It's not going to happen, man. They can't do nothing with it. It says, but stay a nigga. This is 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. So that's why you don't be over righteous, because you'll destroy yourself like that, but you don't want to be over wicked. All right? And I'm going to jump to the point. This is verse 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself. See that? According to your ability. And the scriptures say, don't go above your strength. All right? It says, according to thy ability, do good to thyself, and give the Lord his due offering. So it's always about doing good to yourself while keeping yourself in position to give the Lord his due offering. So you can't go above your ability with trying to do good to yourself, so-called balance out whatever these things is, and forget that you got to give the Lord his due offering. You know, it can't be things that'll stop that. It says, 14, defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. So something that's good for you, you know, taking that, you need taking that. There's a, you know, certain, you know, they go get some clothes, you need to get some shirt or shoes, boot, whatever the hell you need to do. You can't do that, you know, just sip some wine, do that. You might play the game, but it ain't too many things you can just do, you know. Whatever you do, keep that job to a bare minimum and understand we're here to put off the weak nature. We ain't here to goddamn go shopping. We're not here to be glutinous. We're not here to damn be at the goddamn tasting all the world's best food and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just here to fuel up, keep going, but not be evil to ourselves. You can have a piece of so-called cake if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, But that's it, man. Just be mindful. All right. It says, "Shall not thy leave thy travails unto another, and thy labors be divided by lot? Give and take, and sanctify thy soul, for there is no seeking of dainties in the grave." You know what I'm saying? So moms take that YOLO mentality, and they start to abuse the world because you think you only live once. But nah, like, first of all, so they seek dainties, but see, in certain instances that makes sense, but they're not how they go about it. You don't be over wicked to destroy yourself, because really the real dainties you're supposed to be searching is the dainties of the Lord. Once again, these riches. All right, the sweet things of the Lord. But I get this on a simple level to say, you give and you give yourself, like, or you take, if you will. It says, "and sanctify thy soul." So it's all about staying holy, for there is no seeking of dainties in the grave. So it's just a balance when it comes to dealing with yourself. All right, and that's basically it. So verse 20, I'll close here. "Blessed is the man that doeth good, that do meditate good things in wisdom." See, in wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. And that's what we're not here to put on brothers or ourselves the weak nature. We're here to put it off, and we understand the detriment to doing so. And we understand the detriment to not pretty much being wise, because you will destroy yourself. But you will be in positions where you prove your soul and you learn what's evil unto, and that's basically it. And then you just deal according to that, so where you can keep going. That's it. Don't be over righteous, man. Don't destroy yourself. Do what you need to do. But we not here to push to ourselves nor to others a weak nature. Had anything else? So with that, call Lamla, Yahweh, Ba'ashum, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakadash. Baba Ball, Kwame Asha Allah, Baba Ball. Till next time, Shalom.